Doros.
So, what am I going to do?
You really like this girl?
No, I like the bull. This is my one chance to make a great entrance.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it, she running her mouth.
I really like it when the universe aligns with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. So last week on the show, we were talking about spending habits and bar habits. And Joshy, you brought up this point that people are refusing to open up tabs at bars. You noticed it. You were talking about this people from out of town who didn't tip on their purchases, and you almost felt compelled to, shame them or at least inform them of the tipping procedures here.
The norms.
Yeah, standards. So all of a sudden this weekend, you drop a little article into the text chain, and sure enough, the New York Times has done an article. They did a study or research or whatever you want to say. They talked to a boatload of people that says that I always have to check the gens. Gen Z.
Z.
What even is Gen Z? Is that me? Am I a Gen Z?
No.
Gen Z. That's pretty good, actually, for a Monday.
Okay. Yeah. How far removed from Gen Z am I?
Quite a bit.
Decades?
Yeah.
I don't mean this disrespectfully, so pardon me. I think you are an elder millennial is what they would call you.
Really? Okay,
yes.
Good to know. At some point, I feel like I should nail all those down. What, Chew?
Well, what am I, a Y?
Yes.
As far as the question I ask myself multiple times throughout the show, yes.
What is the term we use for that generation? It's you're not the boomer generation. You are.
Chewy is Gen X.
Yes.
Gen X? That's the coolest. If you're Gen X. No, I'm just saying, the way it sounds the coolest. Gen X, yeah.
The young.
Like I have superpowers or something.
Actually, hold on. What year were you born, Chew?
I'll just stick with Gen X.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you're Gen X. You are Gen X.
Okay.
The newest one is Gen Alpha.
No. So the new one started this year.
Oh, no.
It's Generation Beta.
Not as good as Alpha.
That's not bad.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah, you belong in a fraternity.
Easy peasy.
I mean, while that sounds good, I don't think that's accurate.
No. It's just the naming convention. They went A through the alphabet, and now they're...
And we're at Y and then Z, and so we start over with Alpha, Beta.
Oh, it's like hurricanes? Oh, okay.
It's just like hurricanes.
Yeah. So, yes, Gen Z are currently 13 to 28. Generation Alpha is currently 0 to 11.
So for the sake of this article, 21 through 28 is who we're referring to.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And this article says Gen Z doesn't want to start a bar tab. And it goes through this whole talking to patrons, talking to bartenders, and bartenders are frustrated because they obviously operate from an efficiency standpoint, and every time they have to boop the card and boop the card and boop the card, or if you're Apple paying, password in, boop, password out, boop. Like it takes time. It takes away from their bottom line. But they're saying that they have noticed, this article is talking to a number of patrons who say that creating a bar tab is actually causing them anxiety, which is why they don't do it. And I was like, what are the odds of Joshy bringing this up last week here on Jen, Gabe, and Chew, and then it being an article in the New York Times? Are you surprised to learn that 21 through 28-year-olds refuse to start bar tabs these days?
No, because I have 3 of them in that group, and here's why. Okay. The fight is if they put a card down and pay for the night, there's always one that you have to say, dude, Venmo me the money. Venmo me the money. It's, you know what it's like? It's like the old phone bill, Jen, when we went to college. There was always the one roommate, because the bill has to go under one of the room, one of the roommates' names. We had a guy we had to call his mother. and say, will you tell your son to give us $100 for the phone, And I know my kids don't like doing that because there's always one in the group that you have to tell 8 times to Venmo money.
You got to chase them down.
I think that's why they don't like to do it.
Okay, so when they're going up to the bartender, they're ordering a round of drinks or they're ordering a drink? That's the next, I'm trying to figure out layer of this. They're ordering a round. But then
the next person gets the round.
Their concern is that if they leave their tab open, everyone in the group will be going up to the bartender and putting all of their beverages on their tab.
You got to first of all, if that's your worry, get better friends.
Yeah.
If you're worried that your friends are just going to take advantage of your open bar tab, turns out you don't have friends. You have people who are willing to take advantage of you. Those are not your friends. You should find new ones.
So the article details, and this is something I've noticed anecdotally, sitting at bars, being around bars, is the younger kids always go up, they order their 3 or 4 drinks that close it.
Are you just the old guy at the end of the bar?
Yes.
Just the local and the high life?
Well, George Wentz passed away last week, so Josh was like, well, here we go.
Josh is just sitting at the end of the
There's an
bar
opening.
watching all these transactions happen in front of him.
This might come as a shock to you. 1, I spend a decent amount of time at bars. 2, I'm hyper vigilant, looking at people and judging people at all times.
Nope, no shocks there,
okay.
actually.
Is there a 3?
3? Would you guys like to dispute anything?
We are all on the same page.
So,
please continue.
This is something I've noticed, and being friends with a lot of service workers, you notice because you're more empathetic to them. They're paying attention, they're talking to you, they're giving you the eye roll as this group of kids comes up for the 6th time, orders their 2 drinks, closes the tab, does it all over, gets their sheets of paper, signs them, comes back, that whole thing. It doesn't really source Venmo much in the article. It's like about an anxiety, about being
financially conscious.
Yeah, and also about being worried about, like, well, what if I want to go somewhere else? And it's like, well, close your tab and go there in 2 minutes.
But that to me is, and this, I don't do this. I don't go to bars anymore. So yes, when I asked if I was Gen Z, that should have been the first indication. But one is the idea of being shackled somewhere.
Right.
I think that we're talking about a generation that wants to bop and move and be able to flip on a dime and, oh, we're going there now? Perfect. I got no strings. I got no nothing. I'm walking out the door as you guys are walking out the door. And I think when you talk about the anxiety, it goes back to being, quote, unquote, left behind. Right? The group is moving, and now I'm over here fumbling with the bartender, trying to flag him down to get my tab, to get my card. And I know you guys were telling me that's a new development as well. In my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to leave my card behind. I have left my card behind. Whomst among us, though, right? Like, whomst among us hasn't left a debit card at the bar and then had to go back the next day? You never want to walk into the bar you were at the night before in the light of day.
Googling that bar and what time do they open is, that's a tough thing that you're typing into the phone at 9 a.m.
I've done my worst habit with that is I'll sign my tab and then leave my card behind. Be like, yep. We're all done here.
You got the card, but somehow still left it.
And the thing about, like, how's a way to say this? Can you people not do anything? You can't figure out for yourself, like, hey, maybe in 5 minutes we'll go here. So in the meantime, while you guys hang out and finish your drinks, I'll close my tabs because that's how I've done it for the past 15 years. I've never had an issue. And hey, if you're going down the street, I'll meet you there in 5.
Chew, I'm curious what you notice, if anything, when you're sitting at the bar on NFL Sundays. When you and Ange go to the bar and you guys decide to belly up for a few games there, do you notice that most people leave the tab open? I'm guessing the clientele is more your age than the Gen Z.
They have Gen Zers in Florida?
The whole state is
minimum age requirement.
See, when there's a bit of uncomfortableness, you know, because you go out with different kinds of people, like when people don't want to go to the hip. I don't like the group feeling uncomfortable, so I'll just go to the hip, which Angie sometimes gets a little ticked at.
Wait a minute. I just want to cover one thing. You don't like people feeling uncomfortable?
Yes.
And when you say the hip,
my wallet.
Did you think it was a gun?
I didn't know if you say the corner of the bar.
No, some people's arms aren't quite as long as, you know what I'm talking about, the old alligator arms.
Yes.
I just don't like that. And I get it. I guess my kids get it, that uncomfortableness, you know. So I usually go, like, I'm a good, like, 3 to 1 is fine. Like Blammer, I'd take him out to lunch a lot of Saturdays, but that's more of like he works for me.
Is he aware of this arrangement?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And I understand being cost conscious, but there's times Gabe and I go to the bar. Sometimes I'll buy every one of his beers. The next time, he buys every one of my beers.
Yeah.
And we just, because we're not spending $150, $300.
My life's pretty cheap.
Right. It's $4 or $5 a pop. We have 3 or 4 beers. We part ways and say, hey, good time hanging with my buds.
Well, that is one detail that they discuss in the article, is this idea that the younger generation is more financially conscious than the previous ones, right? And how they have watched their parents go through economic and financial uncertainty and the anxiety that caused their family, and therefore, not that they're pinching pennies, but they're just so much more acutely aware of where their money is going. And so this one woman is saying that she's actively monitoring how much she has spent as the night goes on. So instead of at the end of the night being surprised by a big number, she's like, I've spent $6, I've spent $12, I've spent $18. I capped myself at $40 tonight, and so
your memory's that bad that you need the reminder of the receipt that you're keeping and walking along.
The more beverages you have, I'm pretty sure that is a well-known relationship.
What if you misplaced one of the receipts? Now all of a sudden my tallies are off by the $10 at the end of the night.
You know what the nicest thing is? The nicest thing, and it happened to us for I wouldn't say the first time. One of the other kids did it once. But Coach at North Dakota State, when we were in Minneapolis, picked up a bar tab. Me and Angie almost fell out of our seat.
Did you cry?
Almost fell out of our seat. We're like, what just happened? And it was like a $200 bar tab, I'm like, is scholarship over? Does this mean there's no more scholarship?
I assume that if he's picking up other people's tabs, then yes, he's assuming he's covering that. You guys aren't covering that anymore. Mitch weighing in on the Carbless Talk and text line. He says, sometimes it takes forever to close out, depending on how busy the bar is. I like to leave when I want to leave. And that was what we were talking about from the convenience sake and not being shackled to one spot. If you have your card in hand, if the tab is closed out, you can just walk out the door. But Joshua, you were saying there are some places where you can just walk out the door and have your tab open.
Yeah, it's about 50-50 at this point, where the system can hold your card information, and the assumed thing, and it'll say most places, like somewhere on the bar or on the receipt, like if you leave your card here, it's 20%. So there's plenty of places where if they give my card back and it's a busy bar, I'll go, well, I'm not going to bother them because I'm going to waste time of the bartender for them to close my tab when I could just walk out and give them the 20% anyways. That to me is probably the best way to do it.
Is this a numbers game, though? If there's just 3, let's just say there's 4 of you, Gabe and 2 other people, then do you just leave it open and say, it's fine? But when it gets to be like 8, 9, 12,
yeah, of course,
you don't want to be on the hook for that. So is there a number?
Yeah, but like typically if I'm going out, which is, again, as I get older, few and far between.
Welcome.
But if I'm going out and I get drinks, I'm going to leave it open. Like most of my friends, even if I have an open tab, and sometimes some of my friends, even if I tell them to put it on my tab, they won't. Like, hey, let me pick that one up. Go, just put it on my tab. And they just won't. But like, if I'm out with a group of people and I want to get around, like I'll just get around because, like Joshy said before, at least with the group of friends I have, I feel like it all comes out in the wash. Like
that's what I do. If there's 8, if there's 3 other couples besides me and Ange, at the end everyone just throws in a card. Just say cut it equally.
Yeah.
Do you guys do that?
Yes. Yeah. If you're going out for a big dinner, yeah.
So the way I'm hearing Chewy is, and I'm interpreting it 2 different ways, so I want to hit on both of them. 1, the number of people that are in your group, that makes a difference. 2, the number of people who are currently at the bar. Right? Early in the evening, if there's just 3 of you sitting at the bar, Joshy and 2 others, then you have more of that one-on-one relationship with the bartender. And I feel like there's not such a emphasis on efficiency. But as the bar gets busier and the bartender's trying to, again, maximize their sales, then I feel like that changes the dynamic as well. Here's what I'll say to this. Couldn't it just be solved by, hey, I understand there's an inconvenience here. I'm going to tip a little bit more for the inconvenience. Because theoretically, the reason the bartenders are frustrated by it is because the seconds that you're wasting on each person accumulate into time that they are not getting another sale, getting another tip, getting another tab, getting another drink. So if you make up for that, does that then absolve you from closing out your tab, Joshy?
I would think so. I think money speaks in any situation. If you've been an inconvenience to the bartender, you recognize it, they recognize it, and you give them an extra $5, they'll go, we're good. Everything's fine. Don't mind. I understand it. Not every situation's the best. The whole efficiency thing is, I've been doing this for how long now? Like 15 years?
I don't know.
Sometimes,
you tell me.
Sometimes your life isn't going to be exactly convenient for you. And that's just what it takes to be an adult. Sometimes you're going to have to wait in a long line to close your bar tab. Guess what? Too bad. I'm sorry. That's life. Not everything can be optimized and efficiencyed to the point of I'm living exactly how I want to. You're in a bar. There's other people there. Other people have needs. So you're going to work around because you're in a community together. You're there with people at the bar. You're being friends. You're making community. That's just how it goes.
We got to take a break here. Okay,
one thing I don't hear
Chewy.
anymore, though, one thing I don't hear anymore is the waitress saying separate checks. I don't hear that anymore.
Ooh, it's been
Do
a while
you?
since I've gone out for like dinner
I never hear separate
outside
checks.
of like just me and my wife. Like it's been a long time since I've gone out to dinner with a big group of friends.
It happens a lot. And I think as you get older, it sort of comes down to split it 3 ways or this side of the table's on one, that side of the table's on the other, and you do it that way.
Chewy, I got good news for you, pal.
What?
Despite being the oldest one on the show, you're not the oldest one on the show.
What?
I mean, have you heard old man DiMaggio just ranting this entire segment?
Oh. Yeah, he's a ranter.
Just get off my clouds.
Just get off my couch.
Just live for yourself. Be an adult. That's all I'm asking people. Grow up. Figure it out.
Mike in the 601 says Gen Y and Gen C are anxious about many things. This is just another one. And Chef Ed says, I was born in 58. I always keep my tab open, always over tip. Having been in the service industry forever, I appreciate them. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy now that we're all warmed up, all stretched out. Lots of stuff to get to. We want to touch on the Trey Hendrickson situation. Also, everybody's telling us now that the league goes through Giannis when it comes to the NBA. Oh, by the way, the finals were just established. They haven't even played the finals yet. And we will talk about whether or not Giannis makes the New York Knicks, which is what they're talking about on Get Up this morning. The next team to beat. All that and more on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning.
Let me tell you about our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There is a reason here at ESPN Milwaukee we have trusted Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin for years. Because for somebody like me, got the new house, just a little over a year ago. I want to make a couple of different changes. We needed a new front door. Of course, the only place I was going to go to, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And if it's time to upgrade your windows or doors for you, but you don't want to spend a fortune, Pella, best in the industry, has a product line for every budget. They've got a lot of different options, a lot of different customizations. And again, they can make their windows and doors fit your budget. Right now, you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan's to wait, well, guess what? Just get it now and wait. Start making payments up to 2 years later. Certain restrictions apply. End 6/30/25. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWY.com. Make sure when you go to Pella, tell them that Gabe sent you.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Still a slow go on 4145 heading south from Appleton Avenue down to about Capitol Drive, and then a little slow as well out of Watertown Plank Road heading north on 4145 to about Burleigh. Also tapping the brakes on 43 north out of downtown from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Capitol Drive, and it's a little bit slow as you'd expect this time of morning heading past the stadium on 94 east from about Hawley Road into downtown. Traffic is sponsored by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series Wednesday Night Live at State Fair Park. Stop by Wednesday for the Cheap Shots. Gates open at 6, live music at 7. Summer fun this Wednesday at the Bud Pavilion. And checking the Storm Team forecast, another day of hazy Canadian wildfire smoke in the air, filtering out some of that sun we'll have today. It will be a warm day, a high of 82, and air quality could be unhealthy for sensitive groups due to that smoke today. Mostly clear, mild tonight with a low of 64. Today's weather brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Visit any of their 6 locations in the Milwaukee market today. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Wash, chill, Repeat.
I'm Monica
From the
Kessler.
WTMJ traffic.
To make sure that everything at Kessler's is worthy of a lifetime warranty.
The quality of your ring is incredibly important when it comes to diamond setting, ring sizing, and repairs.
Monica has been part of Kessler's since she was 6 years old.
Let me tell you how to judge the quality of the jewelry you're buying.
It's easier than you think.
All you have to do is read the warranty.
Most stores offer a 5-year warranty, but Kessler's offers a lifetime warranty, the strongest in the world.
We can do it because we put more gold in your jewelry.
When a jeweler wants to make a bigger profit, they put less gold into the jewelry. This makes it thinner and easier to break.
Theirs might look like ours at first glance, but Kessler's jewelry is made not to break, and that takes more gold.
We give you a lifetime warranty because our jewelry is made to last forever, just like your love.
Gold is more than $2,000 an ounce.
Kessler's gives you more gold, a lot more gold.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's happened again. Another local organization switching to business technology from James Imaging Systems. This time, it's St. Anne Center for Intergenerational Care. CFO Sally Parente.
We were unhappy with our previous vendor. It was always a big production. We also had some issues with pricing.
And now with James Imaging Systems,
The service, the value, and the ease with which we can just keep using their service and not having any big headaches. We're getting value here as well.
just what you'd expect from James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed company. AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation.
I love that they're a local company. They've been a wonderful business partner for St. Anne Center.
Make the switch to James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Two Wisconsin icons are teaming up on a reworked classic. Cousin Subs and U-Zingers are proud to introduce the all-new fried bologna sub, featuring U-Zingers fried bologna, bacon, American cheese, onions, pickles, mayo, and mustard on fresh-baked Italian bread. And that's not all. Pair your fried bologna with a creamy cupcake shake topped with whipped cream and rainbow sprinkles. Now that's a better combination. Order both in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Did you know that fact, though?
No, I didn't.
You didn't know that fact?
Is that just a fact, Brig?
Yeah. I mean, that's what Chewy does. Chewy knows the most facts of anyone on the show.
He also knows the most fiction.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I'm not saying it was your fault, although you could have done more. Oh, you're so naive, yes, so.
We are putting it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account. What do? You go out, you leaving your tab open, or are you closing it after every transaction? Jason in the 801 says the bars also do not like the microtransaction fees because every time you swipe your credit card, there is a charge of $1 or $2, depending on the place, depending on the credit card company, and the bars, and then in turn, the employees take that on.
It all flows down. Yeah, they use that. So, let's say it's a 4% transaction that you get charged every time. Like, that's going to stay the same. But then per swipe, there's like 30 cents that's in there that if you keep swiping hundreds and hundreds of times, like all those little charges add up if you're a busy bar over the course of one night.
You know what I noticed down here in Florida is they're adding that charge to your bill.
So they don't incur it. You just do.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that a couple places now, and I think that is to discourage the constantly checking out or closing your tab every time. They say like straight, because a lot of places you see, and it happens a lot of smaller bars like dive bars, it's basically $10 minimum. You can't go up there and buy one beer and close out your tab. You got to spend $10 at least.
All right, speaking of bars, I want to transition to this, and we can keep talking about this as the show goes on. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel has been following, detailing, and covering this proposal for a Brewers district. You think about the Deer District and how fantastic that was when the Bucks won the whole dang thing in 2021, right? It was awesome. People were jammed in that area. It served as a overflow for when the Bucks made the playoff run and won the title. So now there is this idea of the area surrounding AmFam Field needs entertainment and development and restaurants and bars and all of these things that would make going to the Brewers game I don't know, take it up to another level. So first and foremost, I want to know where you guys stand on that. Do you think that AmFam Field, as currently constructed, is in desperate need of some sort of entertainment district surrounding it, Gabe?
No. Absolutely not. Because, I mean, part of the thought of the Deer District as well, and those bars that operate that building that are so close to Fiserv Forum, is that, they can be open year-round. Like, Gather does pretty well. I know Drink Wisconsin seems like it's doing pretty well, but, I mean, some of the other places, I don't know. I mean, the Punch Bowl Social has been open and shut down and closed, feels like 4 or 5 different times. Maybe I'm exaggerating there. But even in a place that's downtown, next to Water Streets, next to, MLK and all those bars that operate there, it's a spot where if you're out bar hopping on a Friday night, you can, let's go over and Drink Wisconsin. That is so far, AmFam Field is so far out of the way. It's not by anything, which is fantastic. I think it's part of the reason why they put it out there, so they could have the massive parking lots, making easy to go to games, and then you could still have the tailgate culture and everything that's part of going to a Brewers game. Having its own district, I don't know how that's going to be viable outside of the 81 games that you have there every year.
So to be clear, Chew, take this into consideration as you're thinking about this. It would also be residential. There would be this idea of putting up townhomes or apartment buildings or condos where people would also live there. So it would be retail, commercial, residential. We talked about bars and restaurants, of course. If people lived there, would that be more sustainable? If the people that lived in this new beer district, for lack of a better phrase, they could support it, would you feel better about them doing something like this?
Yeah, you'd feel better. It'd kind of feel like the Corners, because the Corners in Brookfield has residential in it too, and that's, there's a couple of good restaurants in there, and that's a neat little look. I'm still pissed that they didn't put this thing downtown. And I'll just say, I'm sorry. Summerfest is the biggest waste of flippin' land in Milwaukee. It is so good. How often is it used?
Every weekend.
No, it's not.
Every weekend.
Nope. Would you like to have liked to have had the baseball field downtown on the lake?
Nope.
You're
absolutely
insane.
Not. Because you couldn't put AmFam Field anywhere downtown and continue the tailgate culture, which is such a big part of what going to a Brewers game is. Where are you going to have the massive parking lots and the massive? I mean, seriously, go drive past there, see how much.
So you want Miller Park where it is just for the tailgating? What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
Then they could have had a district down there, which would have been awesome. Would have rivaled the Deer District, and hell, I would even go to games.
No, you wouldn't.
Listen, I don't disagree with you.
Let's not get crazy.
I don't disagree with you about, again, hindsight being 20/20. I would have loved to have had the ballpark downtown, but that ship has sailed. So let's continue with where it currently is constructed. Is there any value to adding around it? Here's what I will say. Milwaukee Brewers baseball is all about tailgating. Every single baseball game I've ever gone to, you spend at least a couple hours in the parking lot, having pops, having some brats with your pals, throwing bags in the parking lot. That's a huge part of it. I don't know that is as much a part of baseball culture anywhere else. Anywhere else in the country. I know of places that certainly is not. Obviously, having covered the Cubs and covered the White Sox, there's more tailgating that happens at Guaranteed Rate Field than there is at Wrigley because of the space around it. I had to remember what it was called. Guaranteed Rate. It's got the arrow that went down. You saw the mnemonic device.
I think it's just called Right Field now. I don't even, or Guaranteed Field. I think they even changed it again. But where it is now, where are they going to put residential? Where is this going? Are they going to cut into the parking lots? Because when they sell it out, when I went to the game last Monday, I was there for Memorial Day, and we showed up a little bit late.
Did you tailgate?
They were running out of – no, because I decided to play golf in the
morning. Oh, Mr. Tailgater didn't tailgate. Oh, then why'd you go?
Because I like baseball. Because I like baseball.
Yeah, but that was the dumbest argument, Gabe. Keep the stadium there for
when's the last time? Okay, all right. When's the last time you went to a game? If you want to play this game.
Let me think.
Okay.
Do we need to pull out the Jeopardy music? Or are we going to –
Probably 2016.
Okay, 9 years. Honestly,
you thought it'd be?
I thought it was going to be before that. Maybe the last time you went was when it was County Stadium. But when I went to the game, it was a sellout. Last Monday was a sellout for Memorial Day. They ran out of parking. People were parking just in the back of the preferred parking lot, not in designated spaces, just hey, I need a place to put my car. So are you going to, in order to have residential, I would assume you'd have to cut into your parking lots somewhere.
Yes.
I mean, again, if they want to have sellouts and they're already running out of parking.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, and I don't know because I haven't read the entire proposal, I think they would add a parking structure. There would be a structure now where you could, go up instead of out. Again, the reason I bring up the residential thing is because I think that the biggest argument against a beer district, which, by the way, in theory sounds incredible. It does. It sounds incredible to have like a new bar, a new restaurant, be able to pop down there, turn it into something that isn't just for baseball. Concerts, all of that stuff. It sounds incredible. I don't think it's sustainable, in part because of what you have mentioned about the Deer District, right? While some of those places have done a decent job of being able to sustain outside of buck season, been able to stay relevant and keep the doors open, not everyone has. And there have been times where we've walked down there, we've had people from out of town, and they want to see Pfizer pop into the old pro shop, and it's a ghost town, tumbleweeds. And that's downtown Milwaukee. Being this far removed from the city, unless you have some type of public transportation that is bringing people, I don't know, from the airport to there, or bringing people from downtown to there, or you've got some sort of like transit that's making loops and stuff, I think it'll be tough to get people to that area that aren't currently residing there, Joshy.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know how this would affect all the bars on Blue Mound there that do the shuttles, and many people who don't have cars and aren't able to get there that way, they stop at those bars, they patronize them, and then they go to take a shuttle, they get there back and forth, and I don't know if they're trying to get those people away from there or exactly what that is. I think you could bring some sort of entertainment, like just a little something to do in the parking lot, to have a bar to stop to on your way in. Like, I don't think that would be, many people would be against that.
Would it be cheaper than in the stadium? Because at that point, why don't you just go into the stadium? Because if you go to Drink Wisconsin,
right,
your drink is cheaper there
bar prices
than when you walk inside Fiserv Forum and get a beer.
Yeah, I don't know totally. I guess it's hard to figure out do they think that the parking lots aren't full enough on
regular days,
regular enough occasion for it to be worth having all that land? Because driving through there, it's a lot of parking.
So Danny brings up an interesting point on the Carbless Talk and text line. Danny says, this is what they did when the Braves moved to Truist from Turner Field. There is no tailgating now. They just want you to spend more money at their bars and restaurants as opposed to your own, which I think is a good point that we need to address here. Like, Brewers recognize that tailgating is a big part of culture and whatnot, but if they can put more money in the Brewers' pocket, and again, I'm not judging here, I'm just saying this to me feels like a normal, natural thing, aren't they going to try to make that happen?
I think, again, it comes down to cost analysis because they're getting all that money. What you're losing in giving up those parking spots, is it going to be worth it in the end? Because the Brewers get all the money for the parking. Like that's part of, their annual budgets and all that. And would giving up whatever parking spots you would have to, would that be worth it? I mean, in the long run, maybe. But short term, you got to give up a lot of capital.
But the only way they're going to maximize their dollars is if people go there when there is no baseball.
Correct. Which is why places like XGolf inside AmFam Field or the Barrel Yard, like they're trying to have people, come up with things inside the ballpark that bring them there. And XGolf has done well. I don't know how the restaurant is doing inside there, but I mean, it seems when I go to XGolf, seems like there's people down there and enjoying the Barrel Yard, which is open year round as well. But again, it's just like you're going there specifically for.
What do you think? And I don't know if you guys know the answer to this question, but let's just say this weekend coming up in Green Bay, what is that whole area like? Do people go there when there's no Packer stuff going on? Like, what's the huge place on the corner
Titletown?
Is that Titletown?
Something like that, right?
Or
yeah.
So it's Titletown District. So like the whatever bar and brewery is up there, kind of like next to Kroll's or whatever.
But Lambeau has such a historic element to it that people are just going there outside to see Lambeau Field, right? So
no one's giving a tour of Fiserv Forum.
That's what I'm saying. Are they blinded by the fact that the Packers do it so we can do it? Because this is two different.
Yeah. I mean, but again, Lambeau Field, to Jen's point, it's a destination.
Sure.
As a kid, I remember going up there. And, we did the Packers Hall of Fame, and, and that was like a practice wasn't even going on. Just, we'll go up for the Packers Hall of Fame. You can do a Lambeau tour, and now you can do all those things. Like having that tourism aspect of Lambeau Field makes Titletown more viable outside of the 8 or 9 games that they have there. AmFam Field is great. I love it. If XGolf wasn't there, I'm not visiting AmFam Field during the winter.
In February when it's 12 degrees out.
And it sounds like the Brewers are understanding of, at least sensitive to the concerns of fans who do enjoy tailgating and want to ensure that any development wouldn't take away from that would still be an option. But I also picture, you guys were just mentioning Lambeau Field. I imagine that if this sucker goes through, there's going to be a hotel put up there. Right? Some sort of residence inn or some sort of, one of these ones that pop up on the corners off the highway so that people, when they do travel in from out of town, can stay right there. And that then affects like Potawatomi, for instance, or St. Kate or other places in downtown that people would stay where they have more dining options and all of that. All of a sudden, that is being taken out of downtown and put in this proposed beer district. I find it very interesting. I'm very curious what people's thoughts are, if people would be open to it, if you've been to other towns where you've had good experiences at these sort of places. I always think about Philadelphia. Been there a number of times, but mostly when I was covering the Packers playoff run in 2010, 2011. And all of their stadiums are right there, back to back to back to back. So they can support restaurants, bars, a little bit of that infrastructure because it's year round, right? If you're not at the basketball game, you're at the football game. If you're not at the football game, you're at the baseball game. You know what I mean? Like they've got, and then there's an old arena that used to be the basketball that now they do all the other events in concerts and, the trucks that come in, and all the stuff that you also have
Monster
at five.
trucks?
Yeah, monster trucks. That's it. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah. Gravedigger.
Yeah. I'm saying just like all of those types of events that come into town when the other teams are out.
You're wearing a flannel, so you got to make a comment about the monster truck?
I mean, monster trucks is
Hey, rolling coal, right, Joshy?
Gravedigger's a legend.
Monster trucks are sick.
Are we talking about Gilbert or a truck?
The truck.
Why not both?
Okay. Gilbert driving the Gravedigger? I'd like to see that.
Gravedigger in the Gravedigger? A crossover Josh never even thought of, Chew. He desperately needs that.
What was his burger called at McDonald's?
The Gilbert
Burger.
It was Burger King.
Oh,
The Gilbert Burger, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You guys are doofuses.
Yeah. You know what his nickname is, though? It's very weird.
Gilbert?
And it's not the Gravedigger.
Yeah, no,
it is not.
Your guys is because, yes, you guys had different nicknames
It's
for
a-
everybody in the locker room.
What did you call him?
Chili.
Why?
I had no idea.
Well, great
Never
story,
seen the
bud.
man eat chili.
You usually have a backstory.
Now, apparently with the defensive, he doesn't remember why Sean Jones was salad, doesn't remember why Gilbert's chili.
We got to take a
Well,
break
look,
here. on
if
Jen
I'm
Gabe
not
Show.
giving him the nickname, then I'm not very, very interested.
Did you give Brett the 2 Live nickname?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because everyone called him Crew from The Longest Yard.
Yep.
And I was a big 2 Live Crew guy.
So then he
So I
became 2
pivoted.
Live.
Name a song.
Let's
Burning
move on.
down the house. Burning down the house.
Aren't you glad we didn't move on?
Nope.
We wouldn't have gotten Chewy making those noises.
Can you clip that, hold that, so we can drop that?
If I remember correctly, in the Brett Favre documentary, he was seen singing one of their songs.
He
Don't.
was?
Oh, that's why you were worried. You
Yeah.
Hey, we won.
Now, there it is.
Turned him off.
Gotta take a break. Gotta take a break. Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is known for its endless ways to win. And Friday, June 27th, they are showing why that is the standard with the highly anticipated season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty roll into drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is up for grabs. Be there to win your share. June 27th, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Hefty volume still on 4145 south from Appleton all the way down to Burleigh, then north on 4145 from Watertown Plank Road to about Capitol. It's going to be a slow go as well. 43 north from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe is a slow go, and some volume pretty heavy still on 94 from the Zoo to the Market heading east towards downtown. No major delays though. And then 43 as you head towards 894 out of the Hale is going to be a little bit slow through there as well. And checking the Storm Team forecast, another day of Canadian wildfire smoke that could make the air quality unhealthy for sensitive groups today. Will be a hazy day with that smoke, warm and sunny through the haze, a high of 82. Mostly clear, mild tonight, low of just 64. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with Sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com. Buying and selling a home can be a stressful process. Hey, it's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. The We Sell group at Keller Williams has a goal of making it stress-free for everyone. Their passion is people, their availability is unmatched, something I'm experiencing firsthand while I search for a lake home to enjoy Wisconsin summers even more. Rob and Nick are there every step of the way, not just for their sellers, but also to potential buyers and their agents to bring in as many strong offers as possible. Get started today at wesell.kw.com. That's wesell.kw.com.
Don't miss 3 weekends of live music at Milwaukee's Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance, including Benson Boone, Hosier, Megan Thee Stallion, plus Alex Warren, Artemis, Nissa Barrett, and more. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, Milwaukee's medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Weekend appointments available. Call now. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
All right?
Yeah.
Kind of like a, oof, like just instead of a, huh.
Yeah. But that's all part of taking the training law.
I do, but it's just such funny noises.
Did this get sexual or something? I don't know about it. What the hell just happened?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Linda in the fall weighing in saying the bars on Blue Mound are the Brewers district. Goal already achieved. I think there's a number of people who feel that way as well. And I think that it probably only rears its ugly head in the off months of baseball, when you're driving by on 94 and you just see the parking lots and parking lots and parking lots, and maybe your imagination runs wild and you're like, what could they do with all that space outside of baseball season. I will say Rob Manfred has for years been saying that the baseball park they were talking about with the Atlanta Braves, Truist, I think is what they're calling it, what they call it, Truist, that is what he expects all future ballparks and ballpark areas to model. So they call it the Battery Atlanta, according to an article that I am reading here from several years ago. So keep that in mind. I don't know how much Major League Baseball, how much say they have in the whole thing, Gabe. But if Major League Baseball gets involved, is there any chance that maybe the wheels get rolling here? Right, where we are right now is just a study is being done to kind of see what people's reactions would be, what their thoughts are, which is sort of what we're doing here this morning.
No, Rob Manfred and baseball can't make the Brewers do anything. Because if the study comes back, hey, this isn't going to be financially feasible. It just doesn't make sense. Long term, it doesn't make sense. Rob Manfred's not going to come in and go, too bad, so sad. You got to eat it, Brewers, just so it looks pretty around the ballpark. No, they're going to respect the decisions of stadiums and individual teams to make their own financial decisions and what's in the best interest of the ballpark or the club.
Do we know who's paying for it?
I believe so. This is the study itself is being paid for by the state, Chew. That was a part of the agreement that they came to. What was that, last year? Was it 2 years ago already? I can't remember when they were talking about making the upgrades to AmFam Field, winterizing it. Where's this money going to come from? So as part of the money that was agreed to in the latest agreement between the Brewers and the state and the ballpark district and all those things, a study was going to be done to see if they could do something like this. So I believe
But if they do decide it's a go, who's going to pay for that? The state? Is there going to be a Tiff?
So that's going to be...
Because I don't think people want to go into their pocket to pay for this thing.
So that's going to be, I think, if this study comes back to we think we can do this, that's the next hurdle that they probably have to clear of, okay, who's going to pay for this? And I guarantee you that the Brewers are going to want some taxpayer dollars. I feel very confident in saying that they would want that. And if the taxpayers say no, maybe that kills it as well, because the Brewers don't want to put in all of that money. Because again, it kind of in the short term hampers your cash to put all of that money into building that district.
Well, and of course you have fans who are coming from a ways away when they enjoy Brewers baseball. Ryan in the 920 says, what about the fans that live 50 miles away or more? Are they getting taxed? Is it a statewide tax? Are they getting taxed then for this beer district that they might only be able to frequent once a year, when they make a trip to the game?
That's the next debate, is where does that money just go back to a 5-county tax? What do they want to do? Yeah, this is step one in many, 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 many steps before this thing would actually become a reality.
Sounds like there's also talks about changing up the interchange there, an expansion project to 94 that would, make it maybe easier to get on or off near the ballpark. There's a lot of stuff that is being discussed. We're going to put that on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll this morning, the Infinity Exterior Twitter poll. Do you see yourself going
the 94
there?
Project?
Yeah, exactly. Aren't we still doing we still down a lane north? Do you see yourself going to this beer district for stuff other than baseball? Let us know. Just curious where the fan base stands right now. And speaking of baseball, can we have a conversation about the Milwaukee Brewers, please? Can we have a conversation about how they just swept the Phillies and they're putting up runs like football score runs over the weekend? Yeah, that works for me. I'll take a little applause. Do we feel better about where the Brewers are now, Gabe? Because I got to tell you, I think it was 1 week ago, I was like, I'm not loving this, not feeling great. Now they've rattled off, 7 in a row? Yelich is hitting well. It feels like maybe this is the team that could actually compete for a division title.
So naturally, after Christian Yelich starts hitting well, we have to have a scare, and he has to get hit in the hand yesterday.
We can't have nice things.
No, can't have nice things when it comes to Christian Yelich and Brewers. Right? Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
Not expected to play today, but he's day-to-day. He couldn't grip the bat.
Yeah, difficult. Need that.
I think that's important to hitting. So hopefully that's nothing. But it's more than just him. Like Jackson Chourio started hitting again. William Contreras has started hitting, and Rhys Hoskins has been pretty consistent. Hitting
consistently good.
Throughout the year. So when you have the top 3 guys you were counting on who haven't been big contributors offensively starting to hit, this is what can happen. Now it's okay. Is this actually sustainable, or is it just a really good week of baseball? That's the next step for the Brewers.
Do they have any All-Stars right now or no?
I mean,
it's
Sal.
probably the same. Oh, yeah, Sal Frelick.
Sal.
I was going to say it's probably the same names that you think about with this team every year. You know, like could Jackson become an all-star? I guess he'd have to really get hot again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not hitting.
I guess Christian every year could be an all-star, but, you know,
but his average
this year
is
it feels like
33. That's not all-star.
Chewy, he was 197 like a week ago, so
that's not good.
Poof, it is picked up. Yeah, and it's picked up. So yeah, I mean, really their best chance at an all-star would be Freddie Peralta, Bryce Terang, or Sal Frelick.
Okay.
Those would be their best chances with like a month before like the voting's done.
Okay.
I get nervous. Again, it's a long baseball season. You're going to have highs. You're going to have lows. We always say don't get too high, don't get too low. But this feels exciting. Like it feels exciting for them to be able to sweep the Phillies for sure. They're a team that are always there at the end of the year. And again, could they still be there? Of course. But this feels like something to be excited about.
What it does is it gives you hope.
And Joshy, I got to be honest with you. That's where I have an issue. Like, should I just keep riding it like this, or am I allowed to go a little, like, am I allowed to increase my interest level, or should I just maintain that level head, that even keel, because there will maybe be a 7-game losing streak somewhere in the upcoming month.
If there's a 7-game losing streak, then I think that's going to be curtains for the Brewers.
So, yeah.
But, I mean, keep that level head. Don't even, because you remember a couple years ago when the Brewers lost 2 out of 3 to a really bad A's team, and Tausch decided to jump out. They might have gotten swept.
Yeah.
But he was bad. Like, he was bad. The A's were really bad, and they lost a series to the A's. And Tausch just jumped off the bandwagon, and they were terrible and not worth paying attention to, and then they won the division still. Like, just because they won 3 in a row against the Phillies, yes, it's great, but it's just another series. You got to move on, and you got to keep playing. You can't winning 3 against the Phillies at the end of May and early June, that doesn't do anything for you other than it's 3 nice wins, but now you got to keep going and start playing more consistent baseball, especially offensively.
I think what it does is it shows that the hitting's there. I mean, they had 2 team meetings, basically, players only, about, hey, we can't hit the ball. We got to figure this out. And what it does is it gives you optimism that I think was probably lacking for many of the fans. You thought, fine team, but can they put it together? Can they string together some wins? And can they show they're good enough to do it? And I think that gives you hope. We're, 60 games through the season? 65 games through the season? There's a lot of time
60.
left.
Exactly 60.
Exactly 60. So there's a ton of time left in the season, but a couple of these streaks throughout the rest of the regular season, this is how you become a playoff team or a division winner.
So I think I said to you guys a couple years ago, I was mad at myself at the end of the season because I didn't enjoy the ride as much I would have liked to. I think, again, there's a little bit of PTSD there. There's a little bit of, like, we always fall short there. And I was like, I'm going to enjoy this. So what I think I need to do is I need to re-engage as the baseball fan. I need to re-engage and go, no, I want to ride high when the team is doing well. I want to enjoy that because at the end of the year, if you've just done the even keel thing, what a waste. What a waste of a summer. Like, if I'm not saying that you should get, like, clinically depressed when the Brewers lose a bunch of games in a row, but I'm also saying, like, I want to ride high when they have a stretch like this because that's what being a sports fan is all about. It's having that, like, collective joy. It's having that, oh, my God, did you see Christian Yelich with the 2 home runs in that game this weekend? It's like I want to be able to exist in that space, Gabe, and I haven't given myself that in previous seasons. So maybe this, for me, this past weekend was the reminder of, like, hey, Jen, the baseball season is passing you by, man. Like, get locked in. Try to, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy these highs and not still get so, like, despondent about the lows.
Yeah, and they're starting to get healthy. Like, Jose Quintana was back yesterday, pitched pretty well for the Brewers, and setting him up for that come-from-behind win against the Phillies yesterday. Brandon Woodruff should be back soon. Like, this pitching staff's starting to get healthy as well. And once they, again, hopefully they can really put together a really good month of June. So they can look at, okay, what do we have in our minor league system? Can we acquire another hitter to try to chase down the Cubs, to try to chase down the surprising Cardinals?
All right. We have enjoyed having Professional Construction Inc. help with our home projects. As you might know, we're not the most handy people, although I did tell Gabe I actually did replace the light fixture all on my own this weekend. Took it down. Well, first I flipped the breaker, then I took it down, then I had the little wires, the black to black, the white to white, put it back up there. It worked no problem. I was very proud of myself. But when something is more complicated than a light fixture, that's when I rely on my friends over at PCI. Mike and Michelle operate a family-owned company. They believe in building relationships, and they've been in business for more than 20 years. You don't stick around for 2 decades unless you are doing exceptional work on your projects, and they will do that for you. Learn more about PCI and see some of their work, maybe even my basement project, at professionalconstructioninc.com. That's professionalconstructioninc.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Sip into a flawless summer. Hey, it's KBN's Brad Nortman. Let carbless, ready-to-drink cocktails be your passport to pool parties, patio hangouts, cookouts, and pure summer bliss. Carbless is here to spark a summer of flavor and fun. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and of course, all the good vibes. From fruity flavors to refreshing fizz, Carbless stands out in a sea of same-old seltzers. See what flavors fit your summer. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and enter to win a flawless summer prize pack today.
If you're a motorist of the 4-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Picture this. You're staying at a hotel about to take an important video call, but the Wi-Fi is slower than 1997 dial-up. You struggle with your phone's hotspot as clients complain about your connection. These stressful situations don't have to happen. When you book a room at La Quinta by Wyndham, you get free high-speed Wi-Fi to handle critical emails, join meetings on time, and even unwind with your favorite shows. No more worrying about spotty connections. Enjoy stress-free stays with reliable Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com. Evan Cohen here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025. You've probably heard of speed dating, but what if there was something similar for hiring, especially if you're running a growing business? There is Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You can post your job today and talk to interested qualified candidates tomorrow. Simply select a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you'd like to connect with and meet and greet people through back-to-back video calls starting as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
The Protect the Package golf outing takes place on August 16 at Ironwood Golf Course. Come be a part of the most unique outing in the state while helping loved ones battle cancer. Proceeds benefit the This Time Tomorrow Foundation. Sign up your foursome at thistimetomorrow.org under the Events tab.
Make plans to stop by Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, the perfect spot to meet up with friends in the Third Ward. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How do you get to 10 in NFL in the football game? How do you do that?
You can have 5 safeties.
That's a great point.
Which would also be a great endorsement for Derek Carr.
2 field goals, 2 safeties.
2 field goals, 2
also
safeties.
a great endorsement for the quarterback. Continue.
Yes.
What else do we have?
On 94.5 ESPN.
You just never know what is going to strike a nerve with our loyal listeners. But this morning, this discussion about a beer district around AmFam Field certainly has. Augie from Fredonia weighing in saying, if the Brewers can afford to throw money into this, I'd rather that they spend on players to make a deep playoff run versus being one and done. I never know how the money works, guys. Are those like two separate pots?
No.
It's all one pot?
Yeah, I mean, whatever the Brewers have monetarily, yeah, they can use that however they want.
The only reason I bring it up is because every time we talk about the Green Bay Packers and we talk about the stock sale, and we talk about that money, we are made acutely aware of the fact that none of that revenue can go towards the building of the team. It can't go towards roster. So I didn't know if the Brewers had any similar stipulation.
No, because it's, I mean, again, that's a salary cap sport. They've got the firm salary cap. Baseball is, make whatever money you want, spend whatever money you want.
The difference in there is because of the Brewers, the Packers' unique ownership, that money, because of being publicly owned, goes into a separate kitty because that's not money that is going towards the team. In this, in theory, as a single owner like Mark is, any money he wishes to spend on the Brewers is money the Brewers can spend. So anywhere, any way, anyhow, that's up to the Brewers to spend as they see freely.
Now, by the time I don't know how long this study's going to take, but, chances are we're going to have a work stoppage here coming up in the winter of 26. So maybe things could drastically change.
Alan in the 414 weighing in saying 43rd Street also quite busy, especially on game days. And then he says taking away parking space would be detrimental. It's why a lot of people go to the ballpark early and what makes Milwaukee unique. He says, I'm intrigued by adding hotels to the Valley, but disrupting the current layout would not be good in my opinion. I like the idea of a hotel down there, though. Somebody said on the YouTube stream, La Quinta? La Quinta? Which, yes, you're right. That is the chain that you see pop up everywhere. But yeah, I like the idea of there being some sort of lodging down in that area for people who are coming in from out of town.
I would imagine this study involved in it has how many of these spaces are used on a somewhat consistent basis. I can't imagine them hampering themselves in that way and taking up a whole bunch of space and then making it very difficult to get there or park there.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine those because so many people come from I drive past I live pretty near AmFam Field. The highway's backed up constantly, and those parking lots, even on a Monday, can extend pretty far back there. It's not all that surprising, so I can't imagine they would forego that revenue and just throw up stuff there at random.
Yeah, just take a big gamble.
Right.
On, hey, what if we take away some of these parking spots and put up something that we're not sure if it's going to succeed?
Our friend Tony weighing in saying Milwaukee can't even fill the luxury high-rise apartments that we have popping up left and right. The only way anything like this would work is expanding the hop, creating a block downtown, bringing people to and from. But Milwaukee is too poor for any of this, so it's a waste of money to even study. I'm seeing a lot of pessimism. And again, I'm not saying it's misplaced, but I have not seen anybody be like, give me that beer district. I need it. I want it. I haven't seen any of that. I haven't seen anybody say, actually, this feels like a good investment. Actually, this feels like looking into the future. Actually, this feels like something that would draw really well.
Well, that's what's going to be funny here as well is, again, I understand if you're the Brewers and seeing what happened in 2021, oh, yeah, we should look into this. Look how packed that place is. What if we did something? If Giannis, again, I'm not predicting this happens, but if Giannis leaves this summer, what's the Deer District going to be like for the next handful of years?
Fair point.
So that's, again, it looks a great idea when the team's flying high, but team success is cyclical. If you're not doing too well, how good is that going to look?
More optimism here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll talk about Giannis
It's a Monday. It's
after
fine.
this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Slow wherever you go this morning across the system. No major incidents, but just a lot of volume moving through some construction zones, and that's leading to some hefty delays. 4145 south from Appleton down past Capitol Drive. That's adding an extra 10 minutes on your commute in this morning. 4145 north as well from Watertown Plank Road up to Capitol is a bit slow as well. A few extra minutes on 94 east from the zoo past the stadium to about 27th Street. A little slow also out of downtown on 94 towards Mitchell Boulevard. 43 anywhere between about Good Hope all the way down to Fond du Lac Avenue in either direction is going to be a bit slow. And then a few extra minutes, about 5 or so, as you head on 894 west out of the Mitchell towards the Hale. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner, dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the Storm Team forecast, another hazy, smoky day today. That smoke from Canadian wildfires could make air quality unhealthy for sensitive groups. It will be a sunny and warm day with a high of 82. Clear and mild tonight, a low down to just 64. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
Summerfest brings the biggest names in live music to Milwaukee's lakefront across 3 unforgettable weekends, including performances from Hosier, Megan Thee Stallion, Benson Boone, plus Alex Warren, Allie and AJ, Betty Who, Artemis, Nessa Barrett, and more. Don't miss Milwaukee's Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance on June 19th through the 21st, June 26th through the 28th, and July 3rd through the 5th. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
Tailgate season, company victory party, don't let your event fall short. V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune into Kyle, Preston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Who do you think is good enough
To what?
to win a Super Bowl?
Who do I think's good enough?
This is good stuff.
George, we need to talk.
What?
I really think we need to talk.
Uh-oh. No, because I wanted to do who's good enough to make the playoffs, because I think there's a lot of parity in the league this year for some reason.
She wants to talk.
She doesn't want to talk. She needs to talk.
Nobody needs to talk.
Who would want to? She tried to end it with me, Jerry.
What'd you do?
I told her I was out of soda. I went out to get some, and I never went back.
Is that a lot of parity in the league?
Yeah, but the problem is there's a lot in that middle. There's not a lot on the top end, which is why you had a hard time answering the question, who can win the Super Bowl? You've done a really good job of avoiding Josh's question. I'll give you that.
He wants me to say Buffalo. I ain't saying Buffalo.
No, he doesn't want you to say Buffalo.
Who do
He
you want
wants
me
you to give a team, a single team that can win the Super Bowl.
Start calling you Twinkle Toes the way you danced out of that one.
Can you believe it? I'm supposed to be having lunch with her right now at Pomodoro.
Uh-oh. Everybody breaks up at Pomodoro's.
So, what am I going to do?
You really like this girl?
No, I like the ball. This is my one chance to make a great effort.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing.
Here's the thing. If you're looking for new news on Giannis Antetokounmpo, it feels like all you got to do is refresh your browser. Refresh news, refresh news, refresh news. Now, it's not real news. It's just sort of, what do they call that? Fake news? It's fake news. It's what was what did you say the other day, Gabe? Knicks fan wants Giannis to be a Knick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a whole story on that. So right now on Bleacher Report, it says Giannis Raptors reportedly have mutual interest among NBA trade rumors. That article dropped just a few moments ago. I'm trying to figure out what the source of it was, and I believe, Gabe, you were doing the same thing.
Toronto Star is the one doing the initial reporting, because, again, everything gets aggregated to the nth degree.
Right.
But the Toronto Star, the one doing the reporting there.
So Brian Windhorst said on Sunday that Toronto is looking for a big fish on the trade market this offseason. And then I don't know how that got spun into mutual interest, but that is the report from the from Bleacher Report right now, from the Toronto Star right now. Look, is it shocking that every team is interested in Giannis? No. Do we recognize that not every team can actually make a trade for Giannis? Yes. And so what we will keep trying to do here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is parse through the teams that want Giannis, all of them, to the teams that could actually make a trade for Giannis. I'm imagining that Gabe, over the next 20 minutes or so, is going to be working on that. What was that website you did the other day? The trade.
Oh, the trade machine.
Trade machine.
Look,
Why can I not remember trade machine?
But look, cool, Toronto. You were 30-52 last year. Like, if we're all under the guise that winning is the only thing that's important to Giannis, why is he going to a team that's 30-52, and you're going to have to give up a lot of your young players that led you to a 30-52 record? Like, what are we even doing here? Like, no, cool, Toronto. You think you can? No, Giannis isn't going to Toronto and dealing with whatever you have on your roster. It's already a bad roster.
I know. I just don't understand what this meeting is. I don't. What's the meeting? Like, hey, we're going to continue to do what we've been doing to win a championship.
Well,
start making moves doing this.
The
what's
meeting,
Giannis
there
say?
is a formality element to it.
There's a meeting of, hey, Giannis, do you want to stay or do you want to go? I want to go. All right. Well, you got to make it publicly. Oh, I want to stay.
You
All
think
right,
it's that easy? You think it's that easy?
I mean, ultimately, is there going to be some things sprinkled in there to make the meeting last longer than 10 minutes? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but also, guys, have you ever had a meeting where you get down to brass tacks within the first 5 minutes? No. And I hate it. If I go in for a meeting and I know what we want to talk about, the whole time I'm just going, can we talk about the thing yet? 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 Because you're doing all the small talk to warm each other up to then talk about the serious thing that you need to get to.
Yeah, like that's
This feels like a meet to meet. My brother loved meet to meets. Hey, let's have a meeting to set up the next meeting after this. I'm like, the hell are we doing here?
Oh, and they could do that a couple of times here, too. Like, they get together. Okay, we're not going to make the real decision at this meeting. Let's meet again next week, and that's when we're going to make the real decision.
Is there a timeline?
I would say I think the timeline is the draft, because I would assume the Bucks would want assets as soon as possible if they're going to trade Giannis. So, but Damian Lillard got traded right before training camp. I don't know if there's like a hard deadline. If it's going to be ambiguous and just float out there, unless Giannis says no, I'm not going to get traded, then this thing could float for as long as into next season.
Are there any demands that he's going to go in? He's like, I'm going to stay, but I want this and I want that. No?
Unsure of that.
Because they're hamstrung.
I do want to get to this sound from Brian Windhorst because, again, I don't think that this is breaking news, but this is what Windy said over the weekend, apparently, in addition to reminding people that the Raptors would be interested in a superstar. Take a listen to Brian Windhorst on First Take.
So, yes, we are going to focus on what happens with Giannis. Absolutely. Giannis's decision about whether he wants to be traded or not. Secondly, about whether or not Giannis is going to have a full control over where he gets traded. Because he's got 2 years on his contract. It's a little bit of a gray area. The Bucks, to get the maximum value, may not be able to give him exactly what he wants. But giving him exactly what he wants may make things a lot easier. So I think that's a big factor. But the key to me is the Giannis domino effect. Where he might get traded and what that might trigger, both with the teams involved in the trade and the other teams that come around it. So Giannis is going to say a lot of things. And while I could list you a bunch of teams that could make a big offer for him, if I was Giannis and I'm looking at the lay of the land right now, I want to stay in the Eastern Conference. I don't want to go to a Western Conference team because it's going to be a really hard mountain to climb.
So not a shock, Chew, that Giannis is sort of that first domino that has to fall around the league. And I want to be clear on this. I said this the other day. Give Giannis as much time as he wants if he is actively in the decision-making part of the process. But the league may think differently, Gabe. If, as Brian Windhorst says, he is the first domino that will fall and then all of these other things take place, there are going to be teams that are going to be like, what's that lady? Judge Judy. Okay, there are going to be teams who are Judge Judying their way through. Come on, let's go. Bop, bop, bop.
Well, yeah, but they're also going to be willing to wait for a player like Giannis. If Giannis does become available, which, again, I believe he's ultimately going to stay in Milwaukee, but if he does, if I'm wrong, and he does become available, that means teams are going to wait because a guy who's a top 3 player in the league doesn't become available all that often. And if that's what you think you need to win a championship, you will be as patient as you can. You're not going to make the mistake of, instead of trading for Giannis, let's go grab these 3 pieces. And then, oh crap, we could have had Giannis instead. Like, you're not going to want to do that. You're not going to want to look back and go, I wish we wouldn't have done that, because then now we can't really make a move for Giannis. So the league will be as patient as it needs to be. Like, everybody will wait for Giannis because you don't want to miss out on that Giannis sweepstakes. And if Giannis decides to stay, or if you miss out on the Giannis sweepstakes, then you can move on to the Kevin Durant's and all the other players that are going to end up moving this offseason.
But where does he go that makes them a contender right away? Because they're going to have to get rid of their assets.
It's the tough part, Chew. That's the $1 million question, and that's a big reason why I think he stays. That's a big reason why I think he ultimately stays.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it'd be smart for him to leave. Not yet. No, I think there will be a time, but now's not the time.
Yeah, maybe that gets revisited when this contract expires, as it does. But right now, I just don't think it makes a ton of sense. Yeah, again, great that Toronto's interested.
Well, but also I want to make sure I note this, because in the Bleacher Report article, it does say, in addition to all of these players who, I'm going to be honest, I don't know most of them, but they have control over all of their future first-round picks, including the number 9 overall pick this year. Does that at all, having control over those first-round picks, a package of several first-round picks for Giannis, does that make you worried that they may be able to put a package together?
No. I don't want the Raptors picks if that's where Giannis goes, because those picks aren't going to be worth as much. You're going to have to, like, the Raptors would have to get a third team involved, a team that doesn't have, picks that are going to be valuable. That's what makes the Houston Rockets a potential destination. Yeah, they're in the West. They got a ton of picks, and a bunch of those picks do not belong to the Houston Rockets, which is why those picks would be enticing, because now I actually have a lottery pick. I've got a chance to get in the top 5. I've got a chance for the number 1 pick. Like, if you trade Giannis to Toronto and they make the playoffs next year, the 22nd overall pick isn't that valuable. I don't care. No. So, yeah, cool that you control all your picks. Sweet brag, just because we don't. Cool.
All right, I'm not even sure where to go with this, honestly. I got people on the YouTube stream who are like, Brian Windhorst doesn't know what he's talking about. Why does anyone take Windy seriously? Again,
one of the best in the league.
This is going to be a conversation. This is going to be something that continues. So you can either choose to ignore all of it and just say, hey, wake me up when Giannis makes the decision, and then I'll start to have a reaction.
I have been critical about Windy and his Giannis comments in the past, but seemingly, and it's in that clip as well that we just heard, he does always point out if Giannis decides to go. He's one of the few people who actually puts the qualifier in there before going, hey, here's what happens if Giannis wants to leave.
Here's the thing. Even if Giannis leaves, I still can enjoy his Instagram posts. I still can enjoy him. Did you see the one yesterday? He's wearing his bonnet. He took a picture of himself wearing his bonnet.
No.
I was like, look at our Giannis.
But if he's going to leave, he knows where he's going right now. He's not going to go and I don't want to go to Toronto after he already says, hey, I want to be traded.
He may have an
idea. Some of the damage is done. Then some of the damage is done, though. How do you walk that back? I don't want to be here.
Sure, but because he is 2 years on the deal, Chew, it's going to be difficult for him to dictate where he wants to go. He can give him a list of teams, right?
But how bad would that be, Gabe, if he says, yes, I'm going, and the Bucks said, I will trade you to the Raptors or the Washington Wizards? And he's like, no.
All right,
then it ain't going to happen.
Then looks like you're sticking around, pal.
But then won't he take a hit? PR hit?
If that gets out publicly, yeah.
That's why I'm like, if he does want to leave, he's already got his team in mind.
I'm sure his agent
one or two.
I'm sure his agent, if he's decided to go, this, Chew, his agent's backdooring stuff and going to bring potential ideas for trades to the Bucks that they would ultimately have to agree to.
But there are PR ramifications, so they kind of got to tiptoe through this thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had to say.
If you're looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner, Fifth Third Bank has been shaping the future for businesses for 167 years and for the last 15 right here in Milwaukee. They offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making, and extensive experience to help navigate the ever-changing business landscape with your business in mind. So what does that mean? Well, that means at Fifth Third Bank, they're big enough to provide sophisticated solutions and expert guidance, yet empowered to make local decisions and build strong community connections, which their team here in Milwaukee certainly has done. Experience the commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Two new crashes across the system right now. One on 894 East at Loomis. That's blocking the right shoulder. We've got a couple of squads with these vehicles involved kind of right between the traffic cones as you round that corner heading east at Loomis. We've also got some action on 94 East at Highway 67. This is just south of Oconomowoc. Multiple squads and a fire truck look like they're working on that left shoulder. There's some possible debris. There is also a vehicle involved with this. Elsewhere, the story remains just heavy volume. 4145 south from Appleton Avenue all the way down to about Burleigh is going to be slow. It's an extra 9 minutes right now on your ride from Fond du Lac down to the zoo. 94 east and west between 84th and 27th is slow. And also 43 north out of downtown from Fond du Lac up to Capitol, running a few extra minutes behind. Dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors, Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. And checking the storm team forecast for today, hazy wildfire smoke once again. Unhealthy air for sensitive groups is possible today. It will be sunny with a high of 82, clear and mild tonight with a low of 64. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Is your business ready to take the next step? At Fifth Third Commercial Bank Wisconsin, our team of local experienced advisors is here to propel you forward. We understand your needs and offer in-depth expertise, cutting-edge technology, and tailored solutions to streamline your cash collections, automate payments, and safeguard your assets with top-notch fraud mitigation tools. Contact Fifth Third in downtown Milwaukee today. Let's eliminate the non-value add work so you can focus on what truly matters, growing your business. Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care recently switched to James Imaging Systems for their document imaging technology. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
Well, I think that boils back down to the service. We have a good partnership with James Imaging.
With James, you get more than a vendor relationship. You get a local business technology partner.
Oh, absolutely. I can pick up the phone at any time, contact our representative, and he's right on it.
James Imaging Systems, business technology and local support for more productivity, more value.
Definitely. We're a nonprofit here. We have to watch every penny, so we really feel very comfortable in that area with James Imaging.
Comfortable enough to recommend James Imaging Systems to others?
Well, without hesitation, I would recommend James Imaging. They won't be disappointed.
James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
The Protect the Package golf outing takes place on August 16 at Ironwood Golf Course. Come be a part of the most unique outing in the state while helping loved ones battle cancer. Proceeds benefit the This Time Tomorrow Foundation. Sign up your foursome at thistimetomorrow.org under the Events tab.
Make plans to stop by Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, the perfect spot to meet up with friends in the Third Ward. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What we need is a chart. And every week, we take the shirtless picture of Chew, and we move that to wherever the prediction is of how many wins that they have.
8, 6,
7.
I think that's how it goes now, right?
8,
and they lost
6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You know what makes me happy? My wife being happy. That's why I go to the Jewelry Center. Let's be honest, most guys don't have a clue when it comes to buying jewelry. Gabe's one of the smart ones. He got the engagement ring and the wedding bands from the Jewelry Center for his wedding in 2022. They also do in-house repairs for watches and other fine jewelry like my championship ring. When it needs work, I know where I'll be taking it to the Jewelry Center. They have 3 locations to stop into: Greenfield, Brookfield, and Burlington. And if my wife can't tag along, she can look through all the many styles of diamonds and other fine cuts online at shoptjc.com. I'm living proof. Happy wife, happy life. The Jewelry Center will make it happen. Brookfield, Greenfield, and Burlington, and online at shoptjc.com.
There's a thought that Trey Hendrickson might not play at all in the 2025-2026 season. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the pass rusher is extremely dug in regarding his position on his value. You know, he's been in this dispute now with the Bengals for a while, feeling like he deserves more than, look, his production would indicate that. His production would indicate that he deserves a contract extension or a new deal with the Bengals. But of course, as Packers fans who have had deficiencies at that position, I was trying to figure out how to say it nicely. Deficiencies feels like a nice way. Yeah, right? If I said, Chew, you have deficiencies, that feels nicer than,
Yeah, I mean, you could say worse, you could say better, but it's right in the middle.
Thank you.
Well, if you were being mean, what would you say?
You suck.
You're an idiot.
All right. Okay. All right. Good. Moving on. Packers fans are going to kind of keep an eyeball on this. They're not focused on it, but every time Trey Hendrickson's name comes up, it does feel like, okay, well, where are they at in their conversation? And according to Jeremy Fowler, he's extremely dug in. So let's talk about it on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. It's sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy. That's Better, H-E-L-P. Gabe, I'll go to you first on this. Do you start to feel like this could be a thing? The longer it delays, the more dug in, quote unquote, Hendrickson gets.
Yeah, again, just kind of keeping an eye on it. I mean, you're hoping that you can kind of steal him and get, well, if you're not going to use him, that seems perfect, right? Like, if the Bengals grow frustrated and they end up selling low on him, that's right up Goody's alley, underpaying for something.
Correct.
But you do have to give him...
Even though he's older than we have seen him traditionally invest in.
And that's why I kind of think that it's ultimately not going to happen, even if he somehow does get traded. Like, I don't see Goody lining up to pay somebody who is 30 years old and just going to give him $30+ million per year.
Goody he doesn't do the double whammy. Just take that one right off the books. Even if it was a second-round pick, which my guess, it would probably be a first.
Well, sure.
He led the league in sacks.
But Chewy, I think if they got an offer for a first-round pick, I think Trey Hendrickson would already be gone. Like, if the Bengals could have turned Trey into a first-round pick, they would have already done it.
No, I don't think they can get rid of him. Because if you look, I don't know what publication was, but their odds were, as far as reaching the Super Bowl, were one click better than the Packers. And without him, they've got no chance. Because their problem is defense. They have to. They're going to re-sign him. This is just Mike Brown being tighter than 2 coats of paint. My guess is the deal will get done. Because he's already said, I don't need to break the bank and be the highest paid. I just want to be paid fairly.
Well, and this is, to me, Chew, this is something that you talk about a lot, but this is just like a practical lesson in, hey, sign your guys early. Because the Bengals had an opportunity last year to sign him to an extension after he had 17.5 sacks. Oh, don't worry about it. If you play well next year, then we'll take care of you. And part of the article that was on ESPN.com over the weekend was the Bengals going, well, we had no idea that the pass rushing market was just going to get so out of control. Now we have to. Well, guess what?
Aren't you supposed to know that?
Well, sure. But also, if you would have paid him before the pass rush market got out of control and gave him an extension, you wouldn't have to worry about that. The earlier you sign your guys, the less it's going to cost. Like, that's just always true. The longer you wait in the NFL, the more it's ultimately going to cost you because contracts aren't going down. They're only going up.
Especially at that position.
Yeah, especially at a premium position.
Yeah.
But it's the lesson that the Packers had to learn the hard way with Devontae. Oh, don't worry, Devontae. You play well. We'll take care of you. Okay, go out and have another all-pro year. And then you lowball him and he goes, fine, I'll just become a free agent. We'll just do it that way. Like, don't take care of your guys. If they are a cornerstone of your franchise, take care of them early. You will not regret it because it's going to be a cheaper deal.
That's why I said last week, throw that money at Christian Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be, I don't know if he'll ever be great, but he's good. And they have the leverage right now. So throw something at him to see if he bites on it. That's what Ron used to do in the old days.
Okay, so you're saying the quiet part out loud, Chewy. If you were Brian Gutekunst, you would at least be kicking the tires on this. Is that what you're saying?
It's just a dumb second-round pick. I mean, he's certainly, I believe, even at 30, a second-round pick. It's just like he's going to want 30-something.
Yeah, probably.
So, if I mean, and it is a glaring need on this team. For a second, yeah, I'd probably do it. For a first, probably not.
But, I mean, again, I think Ron would kick the tires. Heck, I think Ted would kick the tires. Doesn't seem like Gideon will.
So again, this is where I get so frustrated, guys, because I understand having standards. I understand having tent poles, things that you base your philosophy on, things that are non-negotiables, right? But I also think that, like, in order to take that next step, sometimes you have to be willing to make an exception to the rule. And this is a position that you are so obviously and glaringly deficient at. You might have to bend your own rules in order to upgrade at that position, in order to get something of value at that position. That's what I don't understand, Chew.
What I think it's more of is he'd have to admit he was wrong, which GMs have a problem doing. Because if you went out and got Trey Hendrickson, you're essentially saying, well, I missed on Van Ness, which was the 13th pick, which is a high pick. And then Rashawn Gary paying him looks to be a mistake. And that's why I don't think he does it, because he's not given up on Van Ness yet. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a character flaw. I think every time he digs his heels in on guys who have shown, and look, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Van Ness goes out there and has a blockbuster year. He's a game changer. He's a game wrecker. And we could be like, oh, Goody was right to give that guy another year of development. But not being able to admit mistakes at that level in that position is a character flaw. And this, to me, I wouldn't read it as he's admitting a mistake. It would be he's correcting a mistake. And yes, when you make mistakes and you correct your mistakes, does it cost you a little bit more sometimes, Gabe? Yes, it does. Do you have to do things that you're not comfortable doing? Yes, you do. But that's where I get so frustrated about this Trey Hendrickson thing, because by everything we have seen with our eyes on the field, he could be that next level game changer for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but I understand not giving up on Van Ness. He's halfway through his rookie contract, and he does have a lot of athleticism, right? They're going to give him every opportunity. It's the old Tausch saying, first-round picks have to prove they don't belong in the league. 6th and 7th-round picks have to prove they belong in the league consistently. So I understand not giving up on Lukas Van Ness, because he's going to be going into year 3.
And he's not costing any money.
Correct.
Really.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly, Chew. And that's why you don't give up on a lot of your draft picks unless they absolutely prove that they do not belong.
So let me ask you this. If they're 8th in power rankings right now, I believe that's where they were at. If they kept Jair and signed Hendrickson, where are they at? 5?
Yeah. I'd throw him up there.
Yeah.
But again, to me,
it'd be mostly Hendrickson, if I'm being honest. Yeah. For me, Jair doesn't move the needle as much. But Hendrickson, to me, elevates that defense tenfold.
I think running it through the cornerback idea and bringing up Jair actually fits here. How much do we think? Because at this point, I sort of think the Packers just believe their cornerback room's fine as is, with or without Jair. And a part of me, I disagree with it, also thinks they think their pass rushers are fine. They didn't invest high draft capital into it. They didn't go out and make any moves. They think, we think there's enough here. We think we can get after the quarterback consistently. I don't agree with that, but that seems to be what they're telling us.
Did they buy into like the 7 sacks they had against the Titans last year? Like, oh man, look at that one game.
Right, and I also don't know the offensive line. I thought it was great. They obviously didn't. Everyone graded out their offensive line as pretty good everywhere you look. And then the way they talk about their offensive line and then the way they invested in Belton early and went out and got Aaron Banks would tell me they don't.
It feels like they don't want to pay offensive linemen. Like, that's what it feels
Except
like
for
to me.
the 77 they gave to Aaron Banks.
Yeah, like that's the weird part.
Right.
That is the weird part because they don't want to give the money. Clearly, don't want to give money to Zach Tom.
Right.
Obviously, I mean, they've put Rasheed Walker in competition every year. Not going to give that dude money.
Elton's holding out.
Elton wants more guaranteed money for switching positions. They don't want to pay any of them.
Or maybe I'm just not also looking enough at Baron Sorrell. Maybe I should be like, you know what? The Packers believe they addressed their pass rushing issues when they went out and got Baron Sorrell. But from everything I've read, thank you. I saw your face. You were like, ah. From everything I've read, the pass rush is the element where he needs the most. He needs to take the most steps. He needs to have the most growth. Go ahead, Gabe.
How often?
Gabe's his jaw was, what do you call it? Slack jaw?
Yeah,
The whole time I was talking about that.
How often is the 4th round pick the answer to a need?
I know. Listen, I'm over here banging on the Hendrickson drum.
Maybe Baron Sorrell is part of the future. Like a guy like Aaron Campman was a 4th round pick, and Campman became a great Packer. Took him a few years to get there. Like usually that 4th round pick,
consistent, dependable, yes,
needs to get a little seasoning on them first before they become a cornerstone of your franchise. So, yeah, in terms of 2025, I'm not expecting a lot out of Baron Sorrell. Can't expect a lot out of him. That'd be unfair to him as a 4th round pick.
And again, I think we can go back to this idea of maybe he's just bad at drafting that position. Again, not putting Sorrell into it because obviously he deserves the opportunity to show what he can do at the NFL level. But the Lukas Van Ness thing is hanging around Goody's neck like an albatross. It's just this giant like anchor that's just swinging back and forth as he walks through the room. Until he starts to perform at a 1st round level, I'm going to be of belief that you should at least kick the tires and figure out if there's an opportunity to steal Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals. And that's where I'm going to keep sitting. So every time his name comes up, until this thing is resolved, maybe he ends up sitting out. If I'm Goody, I'm making the call. Just, hey, how are we doing? How are things going? I've been hearing some stuff. Like, just see if this is a way to upgrade. Yes, you'll have to pay for it. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. But sometimes I think you have to do that to correct a mistake, which right now it feels like is the position they are in at the pass rush spot.
This is not a drill. I want to tell you about our friends at XGolf at American Family Field. And if you sink a hole-in-one at XGolf inside AmFam Field, you will win the ultimate Brewers prize. A trip down Bernie's slide. That's right. You nail the shot. You and a friend will get game tickets and up to 5 trips down that iconic slide inside American Family Field. It's a lot of fun. We got to do it last year. Spectacular. Yep. Hit a hole-in-one. Suddenly you're living every fan's childhood dream. I mean, heck with childhood dream. It's still my dream. Go down that thing all the time. Book your time. XGolf inside American Family Field. Open public 7 days a week. All you have to do is go to xgolf.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Got a new crash now. It's on 43 North, right at the ramp from Locust Street on that right shoulder. It's already a pretty tight zone through there with the construction issues, and now that's going to be even slower from about the Marquette all the way up past Capitol Drive. Also a little slow on 43 South from about Good Hope down to this crash site. Also still working on the crash on 894 East on the right shoulder at Loomis. They had the right lane blocked with this earlier, but that has since reopened. And our earlier crash on 94 East near Highway 67 that was blocking the left shoulder there. Looks like most of the work has wrapped up with that. Also going to still be a bit slow on 4145 north and south between Appleton and Burleigh. Traffic is sponsored by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series Wednesday Night Live at State Fair Park. Stop by Wednesday for the Cheap Shots. Gates open at 6, live music at 7. Summer fun this Wednesday at the Bud Pavilion. And checking the Storm Team forecast for today, more Canadian wildfire smoke making for a hazy Monday. Air quality could be unhealthy for sensitive groups today. It will be warm and sunny with a high of 82. Clear, very mild tonight with a low of just 64. Weather is brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. WeatherTech Chicago is coming up June 6th through the 8th. Get your tickets today and check out the full season schedule at roadamerica.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Adam Roberts on 94.5 ESPN.
Got an unused car, truck, or SUV just sitting in your garage? Now's the time to act. Your vehicle donation to Rawhide Youth Services provides essential mental health care for youths facing trauma and behavioral challenges. Your help is needed right away. Your vehicle could be the key to a young person's fresh start. Don't wait. Donate today at rawhide.org or call 1-800-RAWHIDE. Empty your garage. Fill a young life with hope.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
TBD.
No, not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
That's how you make content.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's how it works for him.
What's TBD mean?
To be determined.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
To be determined.
Did you hear him say to be dumb?
To be dumb. Did Joshy say that?
He did.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Don't change the show.
So the general sentiment is that I am overreacting to the Trey Hendrickson thing, huh, guys? Just, it's one of those pipe dreams that I need to let go.
Yeah.
That's, okay.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah. Look, I understand why you're as excited as you are. I get it. It's not a reality.
I think you need to think of it this way. We hadn't gotten a big trade in a long time. We also hadn't gotten for 22 years a wide receiver in the first round. We got one. There's zero chance of two.
Getting both.
Christmas doesn't happen twice. That's crazy, Jen. I would love it. I'd love to have another Christmas, but I don't think so.
You asked for the pony and the Red Ryder BB gun.
Correct.
We got you the pony. You're going to have to accept that the BB gun isn't happening this year.
But would you give back, would you give back Gold and take Hendricks?
Yes. One's an established player. I know what he's going to bring me.
I'm kind of with you.
I don't think I would.
Wow.
I don't think I would. I love Matthew
Yeah,
Golden.
again, I hate to be the one, but why not both? Why can't we have nice things?
You already know that. You already
I know. And again, I think I've
Mom and Daddy have a
articulated.
budget.
Yeah, I think well, that actually doesn't apply here. I think I've articulated though the reasons why it feels like Goody is going to have to go out of his comfort zone if he wants to upgrade that position. Okay, because what he has done and what he thinks is going to work so far has not worked, and I just don't know if it's going to. I know he thinks it's going to. I just get a little more time, little more development. We're going to get there. I don't know. And I got to be honest with you. You were talking about the cornerback position earlier, Joshy. Like, so much of the success of that unit is going to be dependent on the ability to get to the quarterback by the front line. And so there's a part of me that's like, help me help you. Help your cornerbacks be more successful by investing in the defensive line, by investing in a bona fide pass rusher, a guy who has shown he can do it. I understand the logic. I understand all of the arguments you guys are giving me. There's a part of me that just feels like this is stubbornness for stubborn's sake at some point. And Chewy makes a good point. You would have to admit that he was a bust, that you messed up.
Yeah, and look, I think LVN would still get his opportunities, and we'll see what happens with Rashawn Gary this year. I mean, they probably look at that position and go, hey, we're already investing so much. Like, maybe we can't afford to invest even more in that position until one of those guys is cleared out. Until if Rashawn Gary doesn't come through this year, and then the Packers walk away with from that contract without much penalty next offseason. And then in earnest, they try to figure out that position.
Well, then you'd have to go get somebody, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not bringing Gary back next year.
Well, I mean, if Rashawn Gary has 7 or 8 sacks, Chew, I don't think they're going to.
Well, hold on a minute. Now I'm seeing that there's a website that has proposed a trade. Again, website, not front office, so take it with a grain of salt. Potentially offering a package that includes Lukas Van Ness and draft picks. Would you include Lukas Van Ness or in your mind is it, no, we want that. We want Lukas Van Ness and Hendrickson on the line together.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, go ahead and do it. But, like, if I'm giving up Lukas Van Ness, like, again, it's to the point where I can't imagine you're giving up draft picks, where you're giving up multiple ones. Like, eventually, if the Bengals are going to be this stubborn, they're going to end up selling low. But I can't imagine that they were even offered a first-round pick initially. Like, you're only worth what the market dictates for you. And I can't imagine a team going, yeah, after all this time, now we're going to give you multiple first-round picks or a first-round pick. I don't think that's happened and is going to happen for the Bengals.
I would agree. But it's Mike Brown, and Mike Brown's Mike Brown.
You keep saying that. What does that mean?
He's cheap as ever. He's just, they do things. Like I had a deal together to get rid of Julio where they would have got something in return, and he didn't listen to me. Right, Gabe?
Is that what you did to tick off the entire city of Cincinnati?
I think there were people with me.
I can't remember what you did to get aggregated by the newspapers out in Cincinnati and get us on their public enemy #1 list.
When was this? Was this recent? This was pre-gen Gabe and Chewy?
This was pre-gen. Yeah, this was Chewy was doing
but
something.
When he still had value and they were doing the same thing they're doing with Hendrickson, and I'm like, just get rid of him. I mean, you're going nowhere. Like, it was a great idea.
I think that's what it was. I think it was the you're going nowhere part that upset people. Yeah. That's what made people mad. That's right.
Yeah.
It's funny because I didn't think that I would get my heart rate up. I didn't think I'd get my blood pressure up this morning, but I can feel my pulse just racing right now when we talk about this Hendrickson thing. Because to me, it comes back to what you've done hasn't been good enough at that position. You have an opportunity to get one of the best in the league. Yes, it will cost a little more than you would like. Yes, it goes against some of the things that you have used as tent poles and as structures of how you want to build the team. But also, he's going to benefit the defense wholly.
But because right now you'd have to overpay. Would you want to give up a first-round pick for him?
I thought that the longer this goes, the more likely the Bengals will be, especially if he is dead set on not playing and he's going to dig his heels in, then you're getting nothing. Now, you're also fining him, but every article I've read says that whatever contract he gets next is going to make up for all of the money he gets fined. So would you rather have him giving you zero production, or would you rather at least get something for the asset?
Depends upon how stubborn you want to be. Because right now, right now, the trade market's very quiet. Jeremy Fowler made that perfectly clear in the article. Trade market's incredibly quiet, if not dead, because the Bengals just aren't picking up the phone. They're not even listening. I don't know if they want to have Hendrickson play out the contract or what their brilliant plan is here, but right now it doesn't even seem like it's a possibility for anyone to trade for him because they're not even picking up the phone.
And their fans would be pissed if they did trade him. I know they drafted a D-end in the first round.
Yeah, Stewart, right?
Yeah.
Is he on the field yet? Because he wasn't playing yet for not having a contract.
Yeah. But this is how they do
It's
business.
all slotted. What are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, would you, if you're the Bengals, Chew, would you be interested in LVN? Younger, athletic. Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell
To play
this sucker.
what position? No, I would think he has very little trade value.
The thing that keeps a little hope alive is the Bengals are uniquely one of those teams that will bleep something up. They will uniquely make the wrong decision, and there's few teams like that where you can take advantage of them. And I just don't want the Packers to not be part of that if it ends up happening.
Can you imagine how upset you would be if you're T. Higgins?
Right.
Took less than market value under the guise of, oh, yeah, because we have more guys to sign, and then you trade away the guy you're hoping to keep.
Yeah.
Oh,
that would sting.
That sounds about right for the Bengals, though, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
if we're being honest.
There's a way to do it, and then there's the way the Bengals do it.
So
Yeah, you get 'em, Josh.
Josh, I love what you're saying. You're like, so
he's like, you take it. Take the
Yeah.
hit. I don't want it. I've been there before.
Aggregate that. This is an ad by BetterHelp. For Mental Health Awareness Month, BetterHelp surveyed 16,000 people across 23 countries for its first ever State of Stigma report. And here's what they found, guys. And this is really interesting. 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support for your mental health. But only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It affects their families. It affects their workplaces. It affects entire communities. It is time, if you find yourself in this spot of needing help, to get help, because BetterHelp is making it as easy as possible. Over 35,000 therapists. It's the world's largest online therapy platform. It's served more than 5 million people globally, and it is convenient too. You can join a session with just the click of a button from your home. It'll help you fit into your busy schedule. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time. Look, I have done too many stories with my job where we talk about people who have struggled with their mental health and lost the battle. BetterHelp is trying to end that. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout to get help, because we are all better with help.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. With Saver, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I don't know which is which, but here's what I do.
Yes, all right.
I take the plus and I put it to the plus. I take the minus and I put it to the minus.
Yeah, but the jacker things don't have the.
Yeah, they do.
Where?
Sure do. On the handles.
What's a jacker thing? Is it something that your wife keeps in the drawer?
He meant jumper cables.
On 94.5 ESPN.
A weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tune into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Marcus and his son Chris, a 1995 UCLA hoops champ himself, talk about everything happening in the Bucks world and are joined by some of the biggest names in basketball. Plus, they'll answer your questions too. Stay on the beat of the Bucks. Find Here District now, Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcast.
We put it on the Infinity exterior poll today when going to the bar and having drinks with your friends. What do you do? Do you leave your tab open the whole time or do you close out after every drink? This brought on by, well, Joshy's personal experience and the article that he found in the New York Times that said that Gen Zers are not comfortable leaving a tab open. 81% of respondents said that they leave the tab open, closing out at the end of the night. And if you could only have one, which option would you prefer for the Green Bay Packers? Trade for Trey Hendrickson, draft Matthew Golden in the first round? This one's about 50-50 right now. 50-50, 50% saying trade for Hendrickson, 50 saying draft Golden in the first. We will continue monitoring the Hendrickson situation. Will D and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee.
Still working on this crash on 43 North, right shoulder at North. It's bottlenecking things up pretty tightly out of downtown. So it's going to be a slow go from the Marquette past this crash site up to about Center, and then things will ease up north of there. Still a little bit slow on 43 South from about Good Hope down to Hampton. And then on 4145 South, it's still slow from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive, and then north from about Highway 100 up to Capitol there. And checking the Storm Team forecast for today.